Okay, people, today let's take a quick look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Inhumans 2-pack of Medusa and Gorgon. Oh, I so wish that this 2-pack showed up at the same time as the Black Bolt and Triton 2-pack, because that would have been just one big review. But I have no clue when I'm going to get that other set, and I couldn't wait. I'm excited. I want this out of the package right now. I'm so ready to replace these floppy Medusas on the shelf. Well, I say on the shelf, these have been in a tub for a while. And that's what I'm hoping out of this set. A Medusa that can stand, that is secure, that is sturdy, that is dynamic. And then, of course, there's Gorgon, a new Inhuman. Gimme. And me picking it up like that before getting into packaging, this set is heavy. There's a reason it's priced a little higher than the other 2-pack. That is just standard action figure size. Gorgon's a chunk of plastic. But looking at the package, it's what we're used to with Marvel Legends 2-packs. There is, of course, the Marvel Legends logo, Marvel's Medusa, Marvel's Gorgon, who are Inhumans, and when it comes to them, there is a warning: choking hazard, small parts. Don't put the residents of the dark side of the moon in your mouth hole. Are they still on the moon? Didn't they go off and do outer space things? And then did they come? Attilan? It's been a while. On the side, there is some classic artwork of Medusa and Gorgon, and that's why I want these so much, because they're my mind's eye of these characters. Well, I say that, we get to the back, and there's some more classic comic art of both characters, and here Gorgon's a bit more regal, a bit more polished, a bit more cleaned up, but the actual figure is looking more ragged, and that's right up my alley. That's what I like. If you're not familiar with the Inhumans, here's a little bio on the back for these two characters. There's also a warning: small parts in all kinds of languages. On the other side, there's that artwork again, the names again, a little bit of window, Marvel Legends logo on top, the Inhumans logo on bottom. There's a UPC, legalese. Let's get this open and see what's going on here. All right, starting with Medusa because I couldn't wait. Had to know, will she stand up? I haven't messed with it much. Let's straighten the feet out a little bit. How about I crunch the knee and maybe come forward a bit? The center of balance is still all the way in the back, because look at all this. And the hair is not quite long enough to reach the floor whenever she's standing straight up and down. So you put it there and it leans back a little and stands up, but you can see, whoop, try to spread the legs slightly, and okay, getting better. Not quite. If I turn the hairpiece, will it go closer to the ground? Maybe right there. And what I'm doing is working this hinge that they added in the middle of the hair. When this was first announced, they just said there's a joint in the hairpiece. And I thought, is it a ball joint? Does it go forward and back? Does it go around? But no, it is just a hinge that goes from here to about here, which does make it look dynamic. I mean, it's flowing in the wind, and then you come around to this side and there's some more curl here to counteract the curls that's coming out on this side. But I am going for the standing. That one flat. I can't get it to get closer. What happens when I bend her forward slightly? That's a whole heck of a lot of plastic. Oh, I did it! Standing upright, but kind of in an attack position or ready for battle or something. It's mostly in the ankles, trying to get the hair in the straight up and down position. Well, okay, not terrible, but still not straight up and down. I have a curve to the board here, so that's cheating if I put it here. Oh, look, she's standing up. Needs to be down a little, not so much curl to it. And then that would help. But with the pinless knees, it's not buckling under the weight. It's just too much. That's just the design of this character. Oh, if this had been hollow, that would have been a lot better. It's definitely not the same sculpt as the previous two, though. It has a lot more life to it. It has these hair tentacles sticking out in places, as it should, because she can control her hair. It whips out, wraps around things, she slings people around, does whatever. There's also a lot more body to it, which I like, but you're not gonna get away from that adding that much weight. Is that gonna see the old knees? The new knees are much more solid. And again, you can get close. It just needs teeny tiny bit. Hold it out for a second and watch this. Yeah, if it was like that, just a little bit, it would be perfect. Could stand straight up and down. In fact, Is it hold? Nope, there it goes. As far as the rest of the body goes, it is the latest and greatest. It has the butterfly joints, it has the dumbbell joint in the mid-torso, it has the crunch at the waist, and then the aforementioned pinless elbows and knees. There's a slight color difference between the top of the glove and the hand. That's because this is cast in this color, and I think this is painted because it's a separate piece. It's an overlay to give it some depth. Look at the pointy stripe on the outside. It's the same with the boot tops, separate piece that you push up into position, which I do like. Again, it gives it an edge. It gives it more definition. It's better than being painted on. Interesting with the stripe coming down and to the toe, where they could make the center of that hinge black plastic. It will make the back black too, but I'll never look at that. She's standing on the shelf or even in an action pose. The belt is painted on. If it's even a belt, this may be costume design because it's an M. If it was an overlay piece, it'd get awful thin in places. And then there's the face sculpt, the angry face. We'll get to that in accessories, but nice photo reel, little bit of teeth showing, and skin tone. That's another thing that Hasbro's been knocking out of the park lately. Different figure to figure, but they all seem a lot more natural than the painted on skin tone. What if we turn her head to the side and kind of twist her body? Oh, that is interesting. Not straight up and down, but more of a neutral pose. And then there's Gorgon, who is too tall to fit on the screen, at least like this, how he came out of the package. You can bend the knees and bring it forward and then kick the ankle to get him into more of an animalistic pose a little bit. Bring it down and there. Not quite, but almost. And how does he stand? A little bit of ankle forward and okay, not bad. I don't mind that hunch, that crunch, that lunging forward slightly because of his general shape. At first I thought it was an all-new sculpt until I got it out of the package and realized, nope, there is reuse going on here. Let's take off the head and this top piece, and that exposes the plain muscled upper body. There's been a few Build-A-Figures use this body, but I always go back to Caliban. It has the same dents in the pecs, the same ab setup. There's the same veins on the biceps. Look at the hair paint. That's awesome. Same shoulders, same arms. There's pins, even the same gauntlets. Well, I say that it's the same setup to the dents, but Gorgon's does seem to be a bit more defined. Like this dent right here is not quite as apparent on Caliban. There's the same divot here on the back. It nearly threw me off on this side because the gauntlet is turned. This dent is on the inside on my Caliban. But then there's the ding, scratch right in there. That's right here. Below that is obviously new. No, it's not the Renshaw Build-A-Figure. That is much smaller. There's this lower shirt overlay with the belt in it. It has the kick downs for the black, the point. Then the legs have a baggy pants look with these seam lines, these cross hatches. Kind of reminds me of Hercules. Silver knee pads with some dings and dents to match the bracers, and it doesn't quite go all the way around, but if it did, it would have got in the way of knee articulation. It goes back far enough to finish the look. Then below the knee, the baggy pants stop at this cuff, a boot top. I don't know what to call this since there's hooves down on bottom. There is a swivel at the top of that, and then there is an ankle hinge, but then there's nothing in between. I usually expect some kind of joint in this, but here it's not bad because I feel like it'll be more stable in the long run when it comes to standing them up. Well, when I get them into a standing position that works. The upper parts I took off a minute ago are also new. There's this shoulder shawl and then this sculpted on brown collar to make it look like the shirt's coming up and through it. It's got a texture to it to kind of kick back down to the pants. Oh, it matches these back and forth. Oh, color coordination. Then there is the head, and oh, look at that tough bastard. Has more metal work for a headpiece, a crown of some kind to tie into the bracers and the knee pads. The wild hair and beard, the pointy ears, and then the mask for no reason whatsoever. Is he hiding his identity? That ties into the stripes on his shirt. Everything is done for a reason. All in all, it works. It is Gorgon. There's no denying that. And again, you get the legs bent in the proper spots and kind of have him hunched and this. Oh, whoa. For articulation, there is a, oh, am I doing this? Yep. There is a dumbbell joint at the top of the neck. There's a cut across the bottom. Is that usually on this new body? And with the head off the body, we can get a better look at the hinge. Again, it's just a straight cut. It goes from here to here. Then, of course, because of all this plastic hair back here, she's not going to be able to look up. Maybe slightly, but there's a whole lot more down. Also a bit of tilt, and then left and right. These hair tentacles are softer, so they do get out of the way. Butterfly joint coming forward and back. There's a pin coming out to the arm that rotates around, avoiding the hair. Hinge that goes to there. Swivel at the bicep. Double elbow goes all the way up. Swivel at the wrist with a hinge in and out. Dumbbell mid-torso, forward, back, tilt, tilt, rotation. Then there's a hinge at the waist that kicks forward. Oh, spoiler alert. Accessories. Kicks forward and then arcs back. Ball out to the hip, goes forward and not a lot of back. Out about that much. Swivel at the thigh. Double knee most of the way up. Hinge at the ankle goes back, forward, front-facing pin for rocker. For Gorgon, there is a ball at the top of the neck with a hinge going down. Can get some up before it hits the collar and then down before it hits the beard. A little bit of tilt and then left, right. This shoulder cover is going to get in the way of the pin coming out and rotating all the way around. So you'll have to work the hinge a little bit, and then that hinge goes up to about right there. It's dragging on the scarf. Swivel at the bicep. Single hinge at the elbow goes from here to, I'd say 90. Swivel at the wrist with a hinge in and out. Ab crunch goes, oh, pretty far, and then arc back. Ball coming out to the hip, kicks forward and back and out. Swivel at the thigh. Double knee goes here and, oh, well, yeah, there's more clicks. Bagginess kind of gets in the way. Swivel at the boot line. Hinge at the ankle goes back, goes forward, and then, yeah, front-facing pin for rocker. For accessories out of the package, Medusa has 2 fists. Then she has the standard splayed-out female hands that we have been seeing forever. Like you saw a minute ago, the faceplate does come off. We kind of saw this with Madame Mask. I don't think she was meant to do this, but you were able to, and I thought, well, we should see that more. Here we are. With that, you can swap on a more neutral face. Still angry, she still has some attitude, but it's not showing teeth, not as mad. There's not a snap to it. It's more of a friction hold, and if you get rowdy with it, if you hit it slightly, oh, come on. If you rub your finger across it, you're gonna knock it off. Look at that, how easy it was to knock off. This one fell off a minute ago because I'd done the articulation and moved it around and kind of got it into a position where it, all right, I'm done. It's not bad. I do like the more neutral face. You know me. Gorgon also comes with 2 fists out of the package. And there's kind of weapon-wielding hands. And when I say that, I mean they're meant to hold this unique looking thing. Big silver handle with some cross hatching on it. And then I'm guessing this is some kind of energy orb, unless Gorgon likes blowing glass. Maybe he has a hobby.
What can I say? I enjoy making Christmas ornaments.
It's not the greatest grip. It kind of slides around. It's mostly finger and thumb holding it in. And at first I thought, well, there's this hand to hold, but it's not. It's not big enough to do that. I do like it though. It adds a splash of color to the natural feel of the costume. Okay, I'm cheating a little bit again with the curve of my background. It's just enough for the hair to sit on the ground in this exact position. There, Medusa stands at about 6 inches up to the top of her actual head, and then 6 3/8 to the top of her hair. Gorgon in this exact position is about 8 5/8. This is as good as this comparison is going to get because these do not stand up at all anymore. The point is, the new one is much better. Even if it does need 1/8 of an inch more to the length of the hair to do this on a normal... What? No, no, almost. Here's Gorgon with the Memory Toys Minotaur. Is it still Memory Toys? Did they change their name? And then the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Rintraw that I never finished. I still need the clear Doctor Strange. I need the head. is what I'm saying. And here's all the Inhumans together, and yes, this Gorgon makes Black Bolt and Karnak look small. I've been using the Mezco 1/12 Collective Black Bolt and Lockjaw in my display, and that does look a little better, but man, I'm ready for the new Black Bolt. And then of course Triton. So at the end of the day, there are a couple of flubs, but I feel like the positives far outweigh the negatives. The more I've messed with Medusa, getting into action poses, the more the hair does help. The hinge is pretty handy depending on how low you want her crouching, but there's not a lot of crunching because she can't look up. So if you try to get down into an attacked position, it's not going to work because she can't see where she's going. Gorgon's pretty great with the action poses too, despite having smaller feet. It takes a minute to get used to that extra kick in the leg, but once you do, it's as posable as any of the other big Marvel Legends figures. Well, okay, maybe not in the arm department, but again, it's the design itself. Same with Medusa. I still want that Medusa hair that goes down and holds her in the air, that like she's walking with it, but that's gonna be a 3D print, some kind of custom job. Gorgon though, new character for the shelf? Oh man. Yes, there is something to be said about these being 2-packs. Maybe you like the old Medusa and just wanted Gorgon. That's it. It's going to be the same with Black Bolt and Triton. And there's also things to be said about how they packed them. It could have been Medusa and Black Bolt, Gorgon and Triton. But this is how they came out. This is how I'm looking at them. This is how I'll add them to the shelf. Here we are, griping one way or the other, right? We're toy collectors. Bye.